Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Dinosaur Meatball Tantrum. I'm your host, Abel. Other host, Spencer. Say hi, Spencer.
Hello, hi.
And our friend, Thomas.
Hey, what's up? Hello.
So, hello.
I love how our audio quality drastically decreased as soon as we started this.
It hasn't
Is that
changed.
the case? You guys sound like you're underwater right now.
That's your own fault. Anyways, let's keep going. Today we have another bracket for everybody. It's a weird one. We did all the Harry Potter movies and all the Star Wars movies except for Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, you took out Rise of Skywalker? That wasn't my suggestion. Phantom Menace was my suggestion.
I know.
But Rise of Skywalker is a better choice, I think.
Yeah, 'cause it only came out like 6 months ago.
I just saw that movie for the second time a few nights ago, actually.
Yeah, me
Weirdly
too.
enough.
Watched it. I think it was the third time because it's on Disney Plus now. Did you see that they're putting the filmed version of what's it called? The play. Hamilton.
Yes, I did.
They're putting that on Disney Plus. It was supposed to come out
crazy.
It was supposed to come out in theaters in October of next year, and they're just deciding to put it on Disney Plus like in 2 months.
Wow.
Well, Hamilton
Yeah,
is like
because movies are...
It's
not-
like
it's
one
not
of
a
the
movie,
highest
though.
grossing shows ever. It's crazy. Like it's. I'm really.
I mean, I'm
surprised
gonna
they're doing
watch it.
because whenever the reason you don't see a lot of adaptations of musicals like that is because like it's just not commercially smart to do that.
Yeah. That's
Like,
what I was going to say.
you want people to go see it in person.
And
Like, that's the
commercially,
whole point.
it doesn't really matter anymore because nobody will go see it in person.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's not true.
I would go see it.
No, I mean,
is
I'm
still
just saying
gonna
with
make a
Corona
shit
right
ton
now.
of money.
No,
Oh,
I'm
yeah, that's
saying
fair.
you can't go out and see it.
And,
I
no,
mean, that's
Broadway
the only
actually
reason
just
they did it.
Broadway actually just suspended until September 6th, which is
Woohoo!
crazy.
No more Broadway.
It will be
Finally.
most likely suspended for longer than that. I can only imagine.
All right.
I hate
Well,
this stupid shit. I'm so tired of it.
all right. Let's go and start off with the first one. This should be pretty easy. It is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone versus Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And you guys still there with me?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're here.
All right. Okay, I couldn't tell. And we're gonna, I guess I'll start off with saying my vote goes to the Sorcerer's Stone. Phantom Menace is not a very good movie. Should be a shock to fucking nobody. But Sorcerer's Stone, it's a good family kids adventure flick, and it sets up the universe, and it's not even close to the best Harry Potter movie, but The
It's
Phantom
still really
Menace
good.
is just so much worse. It is so much worse. So
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
one vote.
they're both like introductory movies to a franchise. Like
No, not even.
no. Yeah, but like it's episode 1. I mean, it's trying to be. It introduced like a villain who was really cool, but like
I guess
really didn't do a lot else.
the prequels are their own franchise in a way. I can
Yeah.
see that.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to vote next?
I'm gonna vote Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, I'm also voting. I think this is pretty easy. I mean, Phantom Menace is just a weak movie.
Just a bad movie. It's not a good
Yeah.
movie, and Sorcerer's Stone is a good movie. If somebody were to say, "Hey, do you want to watch The Phantom Menace?" I'd probably go, "Can we fast forward till the very end?" And if somebody said, "Let's watch The Sorcerer's Stone," I'd be like, "Yeah, let's do it. Totally." Do you have it? on
I
DVD?
would-
because I don't.
I would much rather I would rather get really shit-faced and watch The Phantom Menace than watch The Sorcerer's Stone. However,
No, I
I
can't
must
agree.
say,
I think I'd rather watch The Sorcerer's Stone shit face too because
Yeah, but that's because it's it's bad. Like because it's
Yeah, I know.
entertainingly bad.
I think we're all on the same page about this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sorcerer's Stone is the pick. I have no desire of putting Sorcerer's Stone through to another round. If we're being serious here,
Yeah.
I mean, rewatchability is its own merit, I guess. But you get the point.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets versus Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones. Let's just get this one out of the way. I'm guessing you guys both would vote for Chamber of Secrets.
Actually, no, I'm voting for Attack of the Clones.
I can't tell if that's a joke.
No, I think I am. Really, seriously? I don't know. The Attack of the Clones gave me a headache the last time I watched it, but I haven't seen Chamber of Secrets in a long time, and I feel like in my brain I remember it being less entertaining for most of the movie. Not that I think Attack of the Clones was better done. The special effects are obviously worlds better in Chamber of Secrets. It's a better looking movie, and the plot is inherently more interesting. But that being said, it's still Chamber of Secrets. It's like if I were to watch a Harry Potter movie, I wouldn't watch that one first, like out of any of them. And I think that Attack of the Clones is honestly higher up on my Star Wars list than some things, especially if I'm fucked up.
Well, I mean, I'm actually gonna side with Thomas here. Like when we ranked our Star Wars movies, and when we talked about our Harry Potter rankings as well, I put Chamber of Secrets at the bottom. I think it's the least memorable movie, but I also think that Attack of the Clones, while it isn't good, it doesn't deserve all of the flack that it gets. And I think it definitely has more merit to the franchise and more merit as just a fun movie than Chamber of Secrets. Like, I really, besides the basilisk scene and the scene where Filch's cat gets killed, I really don't remember a lot else from that movie.
Yeah, I mean, Chamber of Secrets is definitely the weakest Harry Potter movie, but it's still way better than Attack of the Clones, in my opinion.
Sure.
Like, Attack of the Clones, it's like
Attack of the Clones.
It's Attack of the Clones. It's Phantom Menace, but without fucking. They replaced annoying little kid Anakin with angsty, awful acting Anakin, who talks about sand a lot and can't, like, him and Natalie Portman have no chemistry, and I know that at least one of them can act, and it just, like, every scene is a drag. Whereas Chamber of Secrets, it's a better movie. Like, you can't. If you say that Attack of the Clones is a better movie than Chamber of Secrets, you're just like you're fooling yourself.
I mean, I'm not talking about like I'm not talking. The way I'm going to this ranking thing is I'm not talking about which has better cinematography, which has better directing. While that does play a key factor in enjoyment, I'm talking about which movie I enjoy more, which movie I would rather watch, like given any circumstance. Because I love both Star Wars and Harry Potter. Like, I'm not going to go into here with any bias like, oh, I like Star Wars more, or I like Harry Potter more. I want to watch better movies in any given circumstance, and I would rather watch Attack of the Clones pretty much any time.
Okay.
The only reason I would watch Chamber of... What?
I said, now you're kidding yourself. You said you'd only watch a better movie in every circumstance, and then you said you'd rather watch Attack of the Clones in this circumstance.
No. Like I'm not... I don't know enough about, like, technical aspects of movies to judge them like that. I'm just going off of, like, which movies I remember enjoying more, and in this case, I've seen Attack of the Clones a number of times. I like it more.
Yep.
All right, well, let's move on to a pretty good matchup, I should say. It's Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban versus Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. I'll take this one first. This is a toughie because I really like Revenge of the Sith, and it's a very iconic movie. There's a lot of iconography associated with it, like it's very quotable, but it's still a prequel. Like, it's not like I'm sick of people thinking that it's like a super, like, great movie or anything. It's just all right. It's just all right. And Prisoner of Azkaban is one of the best Harry Potter movies, and it's just like the whole time turner sequence is so great, and there's like all sorts of different characters and stuff, and then you look at Revenge of the Sith and you're just like, I like that movie because Emperor Palpatine is crazy.
Bro,
I like it.
underrated.
I like it because Anakin kills kids. And that is why my vote is going towards Prisoner of Azkaban. So it's my third Harry Potter movie that I've given my vote for.
Cheers to that.
Agree. I agree. I think I really like Revenge of the Sith. I think it's easily the best prequel movie, but I think weirdly enough, and I never thought I would like ask if you asked me this a couple years ago, I never thought I would say this, but it's kind of overrated right now. Like,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who think Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie, and I just don't understand that. I really don't think it is. I don't.
There's
It's
still so much sitting and talking and really boring monologuing.
Yeah, and it's always people who like grew up watching the Clone Wars and stuff, so they have a little bit more of like they know more about the background and stuff. There's just more context that's given, and I think that's why a lot of people don't like.
I like the
Prisoner of
things in
Azkaban,
it.
Like, Prisoner of Azkaban is like a really good movie. I like it a lot. I think it's like the best. It might be the best Harry Potter movie. It's definitely up there. I just think eliminating it in the first round makes no sense, especially when it's against episode 3.
Yeah. Thomas?
Oh, yeah. There's not a whole lot to say here. Not to mention the fact that Yoda looks like an idiot in Revenge of the Sith. There's a million other things that really bother me about it.
Look at that fucking idiot Yoda.
Idiot. No, I don't know. It's still it's still a prequel movie. It still has terrible special effects. It still looks ridiculous. It still drags on for way longer than it needs to. Whereas Prisoner of Azkaban, I don't know. Everybody feels like they're important and they belong, and everything looks good, and the story progresses at a normal rate, and the characters are actually, interesting and not poorly portrayed. And yeah. As much as the action might be better in Revenge of the Sith, it's definitely Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah. Right.
But this next matchup is a doozy and a half.
Yeah. So we got Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire versus Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. Thomas, do you want to start us on this one?
Yeah, sure. But I don't have my answer, so I'm going to talk for a bit and stall.
All right, Spencer, do you want to go first?
I do have my answer. Goblet of Fire is my favorite Harry Potter movie. I think it's like the strongest in the franchise. I think it's where everyone finds their chemistry. A New Hope is like Star Wars at its finest, you could say. Like, it is the most Star Wars movie. This is a really, really hard choice, but I think I'm going to give it to Goblet of Fire, just because Goblet of Fire has a little bit of a disadvantage being the 4th movie in a series, and New Hope is like the one that created the franchise. Obviously, like, for sentiment reasons, A New Hope is better, but I think Goblet of Fire, with what it has working for it, is a better movie.
Yeah, I'll go next. I think that in terms of storytelling, they're both phenomenal movies, and they're both really good at giving us characters that we feel involved with and feel like we can actually root for and feel suspense for. But the movie that excites people more, and the movie that is more dramatic and almost more just epic in its scale, is definitely Goblet of Fire. I mean, the groundbreaking visuals of Star Wars will never be forgotten. The type of special effects they used were so good. They still hold up pretty damn fucking well.
Yeah, and it's practical effects, yeah.
Yeah, and they're practical effects. But I just the spectacle of a lot of the things in Goblet of Fire, like the Quidditch World Cup, and every single event. of the Triwizard Tournament. It's just such an exciting movie, and every bit of excitement is so well done. And it's hard for me to just be like, oh, but A New Hope is A New Hope, when I watched Harry Potter fight a fucking dragon.
All right, I'm guessing you're voting for Goblet of Fire.
Yes. No, yeah, that was my long way of saying Goblet of Fire.
All right. I guess I'll go now because no one else has gone. Or everyone else has gone. I will be the odd man out and saying my vote goes to A New Hope. As you guys were talking about, the special effects are great. I'd honestly say that A New Hope's the special effects in that movie look better than 90% of movies coming out like today.
Sure.
Like everything just feels real. And when you like watch like Avengers Endgame, it's like, yeah, everything is cool and it looks great, but you know it's a computer. And then in Star Wars, it's like it looks real. Like it's genuinely convincing.
To the fact that it's all like practical, like it's all done on a set. Like, even the title crawl, the scroll at the beginning is that's practical. That's a practical effect. It's crazy. There's so much stuff going on, and it set up this universe, and all the iconography of Star Wars is basically can fit into A New Hope, except for all the prequel stuff, because all the sequel stuff just kind of expanded. The sequels are just so like they're just so it's really hard. They're not quotable like at all.
Like they fly now.
Okay. To be honest, I know you use that a lot, but I didn't know where you got it from until I rewatched that movie, and then I was like, "Oh my fucking god!"
I still don't remember.
So you know the part where they're like on the sand speeders, and they're like, and then there's the stormtroopers that have the jetpacks, and they're like, "They fly now."
They fly now. Yeah.
Nope.
My vote goes to New Hope just because. Like, Goblet of Fire is great. Is it the best Harry Potter movie? It's definitely up there. I guess I kind of like Prisoner of Azkaban a bit more. I might like Order of Phoenix a little bit more, honestly. I don't know. They're kind of tied up there. I really like that movie. But New Hope, it's a very simple story. There's this one video called I think it's from like Freddie Wong's like Rocket Jump School YouTube channel. They have this video and it's all about the editing that they did in Star Wars for A New Hope. And it is insane. That's like a essential video to watch. Like if you like movies at all, it is so insane how fucking Star Wars, like if George Lucas edited it, it would have flopped. It would have been so bad. That movie was horrible before they went into the editing room and saved it. It really.
Yeah, George Lucas honestly wasn't that good of a filmmaker.
Yeah, he just had really good ideas, but they needed to be like kind of like. Sharp.
He was a creative director.
Yeah. Well. Anyways.
He was a good writer until. Actually, no, he was never a good writer either. He was the ideas man.
It's like he's the Diplo of movies. That's a joke nobody will get.
I get it.
Anyways, now we're moving on to Order of the Phoenix and Empire Strikes Back. Spencer, do you want to start this one?
I mean, Order is good. I think it's definitely. We touched on this when we talked about the Harry Potter rankings. It's a really underrated Harry Potter movie. It did a great job of like encapsulating the longest book into a not so long movie, but also making it really interesting and not dragging in any part that I remember at least. But Empire is potentially the best Star Wars movie. It might be the best sequel of all time. It's an incredible movie. I really struggle to find flaws with any of the choices, the story choices, any of the effects. Like,
actually, one of them, and it's Leia kissing Luke. I still hate it.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's fair. But
I don't think that's that big of a deal.
Yeah, but
Come
I
on.
hate it, dude. I watched that movie this week and I hate it. I hate it.
I don't honestly think that they knew story-wise that they were siblings when they did that.
They
yeah,
definitely didn't, which
That
is
would
why
be
it's
so
fine.
stupid if they did.
But I still hate it.
All right. I guess I'll go. I'm in the same boat as you. Order of the Phoenix is actually just super good, and no one talks about it enough. But Empire is just better.
Yeah, I mean, Order of the Phoenix, like most, honestly, not most, but yeah, I would say most of the movies that it could have potentially been paired against, it would probably have won to me. But like, it's Star Wars, it's Empire. Like, come on.
It's
That-
Empire.
that's an
Come
unfair-
on.
That's just an unfair comparison.
It's Blue Harvest, baby. Actually, that was A New Hope.
Thomas, do you vote for Empire as well?
Yeah, I actually watched it last week, and it's still my favorite Star Wars movie. It's
I
really
definitely
good.
need to see it again, but I've seen it quite a few times. I have
It's
not.
really, really good. It's just really good. Like, it's
I've
just
never had a
good.
watch
Like,
through
it's
of
so
it where I
good.
didn't like it. Yeah.
All right. That brings us to this is honestly a pretty interesting matchup. You got Half-Blood Prince and Return of the Jedi. And I'll start this one off. Half-Blood Prince is definitely bottom half of Harry Potter movies, whereas Return of the Jedi is kind of in the middle for the Star Wars movies. I don't really know. It doesn't have like a concrete placement in my ranking. It kind of bounces around based on how I'm feeling about it. It's definitely not as good as the other two in the original trilogy, but it's definitely not as bad as maybe the prequels, and definitely not. It's way better than something like Rise of Skywalker. Oh my god, Rise of Skywalker is so bad. I wrote a huge review about it when I watched it like a week ago. Oh, it's fucking horrible. Anyways, I didn't put it on here because it's so bad. But Half-Blood Prince, I don't know. It's kind of like Chamber of Secrets in the way that it's like there's only a couple scenes that I really like remember from it. Like there's the scene where Harry is fighting all these like zombie things while Dumbledore is drinking this fucking like dirt water. There's the part where Dumbledore gets fucking killed.
Spoilers, by the way. We do not care about spoilers on this show.
Spoilers for
Watch
Harry
the movies,
Potter.
you fucking.
I just really it's just not. Is the Snape stuff in this one?
Yeah.
Some of it, no.
Okay,
no,
that's
it's not. The Snape character development is not in this one because all they do is have Snape kill Dumbledore.
Oh yeah,
The
and then
Snape
it's
character
Snape
development happens in
Part one.
Deathly Hallows.
Part
Deathly
one.
Hallows. Is it part one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess my vote goes to Return of the Jedi then. It's not like fantastic, but it's not bad. And
but it's not
Half-Blood Prince.
fantastic. It's not fantastic, but it's not fantastic.
Unfortunately, it's not Fantastic Four, but
so
man can
not
only
everything can be held to that highest standard.
There's a good matchup here, and I think both of these movies are very good. But if I think back to the Half-Blood Prince, most of what I remember liking from it is the story, and part of that is because I read the book, because I used to suck and I used to be a nerd. But the point is, as far as the movie goes, Return of the Jedi, whether it's watching Boba Fett getting thrown into a sand butthole, or watching little teddy bears beat the shit out of Imperial Nazis, it's just a great movie. Like I love every adventure that it takes me on, and you know it gets a lot of flack, and I haven't seen it in a while, and I'd really like to. And it was definitely stupider than Empire and A New Hope, but Deathly Hallows really is kind of boring. I meant Half-Blood Prince. I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about anymore. I just had a little Joe Biden moment. Uh, anyway, my point is, I'm voting for Return of the Jedi. Half-Blood Prince really, it's just like storytelling wise, I think it's a better put together movie, and all in all, it's exciting in its own way, and as a place in the Harry Potter franchise, I really enjoy it. But Return of the Jedi is a more enjoyable movie, in my opinion.
For many of the reasons that Thomas just said, Revenge of the Jedi or Return of the Jedi. Revenge of the Jedi was its original title, though.
Yeah, I did know that, Spencer. You're not smart.
Imagine if we got Return of the Sith.
Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. It has been.
Really?
I think I talked about this during our ranking. Yeah, I had it as number 1. It's my favorite. I don't really need to go into why. If it goes into later rounds and I do put it up against something else, I'll talk about it. But I'm voting for Return of the Jedi. It's useless in this point. But Half-Blood Prince is just really unexceptional as a Harry Potter movie. I don't know.
I felt like it needed to happen, but it just wasn't that good. Like it was, it's good. It's not that good.
It was just there to like be. It was like Infinity War Part 1. It was like
which was the original title of Infinity War.
Yeah. It was just the Infinity War of Harry Potter, which is good. But like it's I mean, how can that be your favorite?
All right, we're moving on. Deathly Hallows Part 1 versus The Force Awakens. I'll start this one off, I guess. Deathly Hallows Part 1 is great. It's a great movie. I really like that movie. I like watching that movie. It's got some good moments in that movie. It's a movie. But The Force Awakens, I think it's a movie, that's for sure, but it's also a really good movie. And I think that's really important when we consider ranking these movies based on how good they are. Because Deathly Hallows Part 1 is good, but The Force Awakens is a lot gooder. It's really good. And I'd say like The Force Awakens and A New Hope are like my top 2, and I can't pick between them. I just really like The Force Awakens. And it's almost definitely because it's the first Star Wars movie that I saw in theaters, and I was so excited for it. And it came out, and it kicked ass. It was so fun. It was great. And
yeah,
I like J.J. Abrams, and he did a good job with that. So my vote goes to The Force Awakens.
Hey, cool, man. I just want to say real quick, I mean, The Force Awakens is just, it's just a special movie. It has a special place in my heart. It's fucking kick-ass. It's really dumb in a lot of ways, but Deathly Hallows is like, who wants to see some wizards get married in a tarp?
Okay, if Half-Blood Prince is the Infinity War of the Harry Potter universe, Deathly Hallows Part 1 is the first 10 minutes of Endgame.
Where they kill...
it's just it's like, come on, like, really? Why would you rank that over? I know some people are like, The Force Awakens fucking sucks, but like,
it's just A New Hope. Shut up! Okay. It's not.
Which it's not. Like, I understand that there's some legitimate comparisons there, but like, it's a really good movie. I love that movie.
Plot-wise, like, they're really similar. I really don't give a shit, though. You can make the same movie 14 times, and as long as I can watch it and be like, damn, that was a good movie, and I didn't even think of the movie you based it off of, that's a pass. Sorry.
I definitely wasn't. When I was watching that movie, I definitely wasn't like, this is Force Awakens, this is New Hope.
Exactly. Why I'm like, wow, they got me. They tricked me. That's fine, then. I enjoyed it. Good job, guys.
It's really just not that similar to A New Hope. I don't understand.
There's a lot of
the whole thing.
Okay, Abel, I'm going to spell it out for you right now.
We can no. Okay. Thomas, say that right now, because I think we can, when A New Hope gets faced against something else in later rounds, because it's obviously going to go on, that might be a legitimate thing to bring up, but like, Right now, we are all agreeing. There's no point in arguing if we're just we're
Well,
just
but I mean, I want to get
inevitably
it out
gonna
of the
do that.
way. If we're going to talk about The Force Awakens right now, I want to get it out of the way.
No, but it's gonna move on, and it's gonna go against something else in a later
You guys
round.
are arguing
Yeah, but I don't
about
want to keep talking about. I don't want to keep talking about how it's just like A New Hope the whole time.
Okay, fine. Say your piece.
Abel, think about this. There's an orphan on Tatooine who has mysterious origins, and they escape on the Millennium Falcon with the
This
help.
is all trivial shit. Like that's
Yeah,
not
I
like
know, but
plot-wise
then I'm
important.
getting there. Then they fly away with a lightsaber that was Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, and they go and join the rebellion, and then the rebellion is trying to fight a bigger Death Star, and then they blow it up.
But I mean, you look at something like the prequels, and it doesn't it's not a great Star Wars story. It's its own thing. But The Force Awakens, it's more Star Wars oriented.
Sure,
I
don't have a problem with it.
I really don't think they were I don't think J.J. Abrams was trying to copy A New Hope. I really don't think he was. I think he was just trying to copy very traditional movie tropes, and not even movie tropes, just story tropes. And he follows a lot of them, and it's but it's also a very similar structure to what A New Hope did.
Yeah, it's hard. It's tough when you're a director and there's one really good way to make a movie that's proven to be a super good way to make it. And you know what? If you stumble upon it again, it's all good.
Never mind. We won't have this talk right now.
Right. So New Hope, Force Awakens moves on. Peeps out.
Deathly Hallows Part 2 versus The Last Jedi. All right. Who wants to take this one?
I will.
All right. Okay.
Deathly Hallows Part 1 or Part 2. Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yep.
I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna say it's because if I think about the ends of these movies, well, see, here's the problem. We have a number 8 in here that is the end of a franchise, and we have a number 8 in here that's the middle, and it's not a very good middle piece because it fucks up the first piece so bad that the third piece has to cover up its shit. Like that alone, fuck you. But also, the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the finale of the 7 previous movies, and it's a really fucking good one. And it's super well done, in my opinion. And they just do every character justice, in my opinion, and they culminate the whole franchise in a super fucking kick-ass way. And it's just magic and violence and dead baby Voldemort. I like it. It's a good movie.
I happen to agree with you, Thomas. The Last Jedi is, as its own movie, I used to say it's a good movie on its own. I have changed my mind. It's a meh movie on its own, and it's a really shit Star Wars movie. It doesn't work with any of the other movies. It contradicts everything that happens in the other movies, and it kind of tells the people who like the other movies, hey, everything that happened in the other Star Wars movies doesn't matter. Nothing matters. That's the whole point of the movie.
I feel like all of the
I like that though. I like that.
I feel like every single one of the new sequels just made up a new thing about what the Force can do.
Yeah, and that's what the prequels did, and that's why it was shitty. Or, I mean, the prequels were making it up as they went, and the prequels didn't really have a plot.
But it's the Force can heal people now. The Force can heal wounds. Why couldn't the Force, where was it during Order 66? What the fuck? If Rey was just able to heal Kylo's mortal wound, why couldn't the Jedi
it was love, shithead.
I actually do not care about the Force healing stuff. It doesn't matter to me. And that's actually That didn't that only show up in Rise of Skywalker? Like that wasn't in The Last Jedi.
See, I honestly kind of wish you'd put Rise of Skywalker in here instead of.
Because it's all we want to fucking talk about. It
Well, no,
seems.
because then we could compare it as a final installment of a trilogy or a franchise, like because I mean, like
I just think it's so much worse than every other movie on here.
Deathly Hallows Part 2 really ends the franchise in a great way, I think.
So I'm guessing it's a unanimous.
Yeah, it does.
Wow, an entire
yeah,
side.
The Last Jedi sucks. It does.
It does. I think it's
really
neat that we have four of each moving on. It's even.
Oh, good.
I'm glad.
Well, is that everything we wanted to talk about that? Because because before we move on to our next round, it's time to take a little trip to Abel's Trivia Corner.
Abel's Trivia Corner!
That's the first time you guys have been that excited to do this.
I'm so excited!
This is my favorite part.
All right,
little fucker. It's time to get comeback, bitch.
All right. There's a couple layups in this one, but I think there are a couple more challenging ones. So first question. So in the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, there's a lot of different Spider-Men because it goes into the Spider-Verse. You know what I'm saying?
Thomas hasn't seen that movie.
Yeah, so I'm at a disadvantage already. It's time to underdog this bitch.
Maybe you just need to see more movies, Thomas. Maybe that's why you keep losing.
Spencer has been winning on pure luck most of the time.
Oh, yeah, well, okay, that's kind of...
Oh, come on. The Transformers one was, somewhat, but, like...
Okay, a lot of it's just educated guesses, though, like the Lebanon thing.
No, that was bullshit. Fuck you.
We're not talking about this now.
Guess me.
We're talking about Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay,
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Please
so there's one of the types of Spider-Men in this movie is Spider-Man Noir. They cast a certain actor to play this character. Which one of these people played Spider-Man Noir? It
was Nicolas Cage.
God damn it.
Point for me, please.
I knew that this was going to be an easy one.
Hey, do I get a point? Can you please read the answers?
Thomas, who are you going to vote for?
I'm going to guess Nicolas Cage.
All right. The options were Bruce Willis, Nicolas Cage, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone.
Mel Gibson.
All right, so you guys start out with the point each. So guess what? Spencer, you could have gotten an easy point from that one by pretending that you didn't know it, and then have Thomas go first, and then you go. But you decided to answer before I even said the answers.
I guessed Nicolas Cage, though. I had a hunch he would.
I probably wouldn't have because I thought that was Black Spider-Man. I didn't think any of them were going to be white.
No, Spider-Man Noir as in, film noir.
Yeah, I get it
he's
now.
Like a detective. It's just Nicolas Cage in animated blackface. All right, so in sci-fi movies, there's a lot of elements and stuff that are made up. Which one of these did I make up and isn't from a movie? We've got transformium, unobtainium, duralium, and hexanium.
B.
Which one?
B. Unobtainium.
All right, Spencer, what are you gonna guess?
Can you repeat C and D, please?
Duralium and hexanium.
I'm gonna say C, duralium.
I'm saying B because I think that unobtainium is not something that you made up, but it's never been in a movie. It's just what we commonly call unobtainium. Anyway, continue.
All right. You guys are both wrong. The correct answer It's hexanium.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
Hexanium.
I made that
That was
up.
my
It's a-
other guess.
I know Transformium is from the fourth one. I've heard unobtainium in some movie.
It's-
I think it's just the common word
It's
for it.
in Avatar, which I watched last night. It is the element that they're going to Pandora to get. It's called
The unobtainium.
unobtainium,
I literally
and
thought
it
it
like
was.
levitates or some
I-
shit. It's
I
fucking
thought that was
awful.
a joke.
Me too. That's what inspired me to write this question.
I love you.
All right. So that's 1-1 still. So Stan Lee, he's very very famous among comic fans for
Don't
making
know
a lot
why.
of comics. He appears in Marvel movies to do a cameo. However, sometimes he doesn't do the cameos. He's also dead, so he can't really do the cameos anymore. But he did pick some that he didn't do cameos in. So out of these 4 movies, 3 of them he did not do a cameo in. Which one of these movies did he actually cameo in? We have Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, X2: X-Men United, Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, and Elektra.
Oh,
Which-
that's hard.
Which one of these
It's
movies?
Fantastic Four.
All right, Thomas says Fantastic Four 2.
So I remember us talking about how he, like, wait, are you saying, was one of the options Fan Four Stick, or was one of
No,
No.
Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
I know he was in
Okay.
a Fantastic Four movie, I think, and it might have been the first one and not the second one, but that's what I'm going with because that's what my gut's telling me.
Oh God. Wait, okay. I'm sorry. Can you listen one more time?
Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, X2: X-Men United, Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, and Elektra.
Elektra.
I think it was. I'm actually going to agree with Thomas. I think it was Fantastic Four.
You guys are both correct. He did make an appearance in that one. I thought
Beautiful.
I thought I was gonna trip you guys up by saying
Ghost
X2
Rider.
because that's
Nope.
the only movie out of these 4 that's good. But he didn't make an appearance in that one. But he said, "Hey, you know what? I didn't do X2, but I'm gonna do Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer."
Was he in Fantastic Four 1?
I have no idea.
Because I know
All right.
he was. I know he like refused to be in Fan Four Stick, but you know.
All right. So there's a common trope in movies these days where somewhere in the movie, usually towards the end, the big evil bad guy has a blue sky beam, and the good guys have to stop it. So 3 of these movies have a blue sky beam. One of them doesn't.
That's a good question.
All right. So we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows.
Oh God, I saw that movie with you in theaters.
It was really good. It had
Hold on,
Tyler
can you
Perry
repeat
in
that?
it.
Could you repeat the first one?
Teenage
I always
Mutant
think
Ninja
of the part-
Turtles.
Oh,
I
fire.
remember
Out of the
part where
Shadows.
they went to the Knicks game together.
I don't remember that. I need to see this. I need to see the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movies again.
He just produced them, didn't he, or did he direct
Yeah,
them?
but I don't know who the fuck directed them, so I'm just gonna say they're Michael Bay's. All right, so we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows, the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, and Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh fuck!
What was the second one?
Ghostbusters 2016.
So I haven't seen Hot Tub Time Machine or Ghostbusters 2016, but
What was the third one?
Transformers 2.
There is not one in Transformers 2.
All right. Is that your answer?
I feel like the fact that you put Hot Tub Time Machine in there is just like because there was a blue sky beam in it.
Exactly why I did that.
I've not seen that movie. I'm probably not going to, and I
Why not?
don't.
It's really
it
good.
seemed-
It's actually in
I
my
could
list.
I would be like so far from surprised if I heard there was a blue sky beam in that. Ghostbusters, I'm sure there is. What's the first one again?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Out of the Shadows.
Oh God, I know Krang is the villain in that one.
Krang!
Dude, I don't remember.
Go. 3, 2,
I'm
1,
also
answer.
I'm also pretty sure it wasn't. I remember how Megatron was like trying to bring back Cybertron, but I don't think there was a.
Doesn't necessarily have to be at the end of the movie.
Okay, I'm gonna say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too. I'm gonna make a guess.
All right. Final
Drum roll,
answers,
please.
everybody?
Yes.
Correct answer is Transformers Revenge of the Fallen.
I knew it!
Fuck.
I knew it!
It does not have a blue sky beam. However, the first one and Dark of the Moon both have one.
Nice.
Because they're using like the Great Pyramid of Giza to like try to bring back Cybertron somehow.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna think that you guys you were gonna trip up on that because
Well,
it seems
I just
like
didn't
there
remember
would
what-
be a blue sky beam coming out
That
of one
is-
of the pyramids.
See,
'Cause
you
That was
can't
the
get
movie-
me if I haven't seen the movie.
That was the movie Devastator was in, right?
yeah, with his testicles, I am directly underneath the enemy scrotum. That's a real line in that movie.
A good ass movie.
All right. This one was one of my favorites. This might be my all-time favorite question that I've ever come up with.
Out of the 5 times we've done this.
Out of I had to do 5 options. There's a lot of movies in development. Which of these in development movies did I make up? There are 4 of them are real, 1 of them is not. We got Terminator Annihilation. Arnold is back, baby, in the 7th Terminator movie. Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters 2. Sequel to the 2013 Jeremy Renner hit Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, which is
Jeremy Renner was in that?
Yeah, he plays
What the
Hansel,
fuck?
bro. And
Yeah, I
they're making
remember
a sequel, baby. All right. We got Genies, a spin-off of the live-action Aladdin remake, and it's a prequel about how the genie, played by Will Smith, became the genie.
That's Will Smith.
McClane, a die-hard prequel/sequel where it flashes between John McClane in the present and back when he was like 26. And then finally, The Passion of the Christ 2, The Resurrection, sequel to The Passion of the Christ, focusing on the second coming of Christ, and it's directed by Mel Gibson.
Oh
Dude,
my
This
god.
is hard because I don't
Only
think you
one
would.
of these you made up?
Yeah, dude,
Yes, 4 of them are real.
I don't think you were stupid enough to write a fucking Die Hard remake. Could you say the first? I guess the one before
the first one
Genies?
was Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
and
What
then
was the one
Hansel and
before
Gretel.
Genies? Oh, Hansel and
Which-
Gretel. Yeah, I have to say McClane. McClane, you made up.
Okay. Oh god. There's literally all of these.
No,
would be a
I'm
really
changing
good
my
argument.
answer. It's Genies. There's totally no fucking way that's real.
Just a reminder that 4 of these movies are not like in production, they're like in development, like they're like planning on making them. Like they could easily be scrapped and not actually come out, but they're just in the works and they've been reported on. Except for one, which I made up.
Okay, wait. So, okay, let me just think out loud here. McClane, I could definitely see that happening, to be honest. I mean,
That's why I had to change my answer. It
It would
sounded
be
way
really
too real.
It would be stupid. I really don't think there's any good reason he's not a character that would benefit from that type of movie, but that would be a cash grab. Hansel and Gretel, I don't remember that movie coming out.
Came
but I
out in
also don't think-
2013.
I also really don't think Abel would put that as a... Wait, it really did?
Yeah, 7
What
years
the
ago,
fuck?
and it made a fuck ton of money in China. Oh
Are
my
you serious?
god! I think I was looking it up last night while I was writing these, and it made like 300 million off of like a 40 million budget. Hansel and Gretel Witch
Okay.
Hunters, R-rated movie about Hansel and Gretel killing the witch.
You know what my guess is?
What?
I don't think Terminator Annihilation is a real thing.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure it
please
isn't.
guess that.
Like
I'm
I know the
definitely-
new one already. I know the new one already. I'm like pretty sure the new one already came out, and I don't think if another new one was in development, they would already have announced that Arnold was back for it. Yeah, I think it's Terminator Annihilation.
All right, final answers. Thomas has
Yeah.
Genies, and Spencer
Yeah.
has Terminator 7.
Oh,
I'm sticking with
jeez.
Genies, but now I think Spencer's right.
All right, correct answer is Terminator Annihilation is the one I made up,
okay.
which is also that is the safest answer.
I know no, because I got lucky because you and I were talking about the Terminator franchise recently, and we made that joke about how Arnold's back in all of them.
Yeah,
but
I know.
holy shit, is that Genie's thing actually real? Haven't heard about
I
that.
also Passion of the Christ 2 is a real thing, and it really is being directed by Mel Gibson.
I knew that.
I just thought it was hilarious how they're
That's not good, but I'm not surprised.
and
Now,
you
Mel
know what this
Gibson has
means.
gone crazy.
You guys have tied.
Beautiful.
3-3.
Wait, is there another question or no?
No, that's it.
Abel, you should have a stock tiebreaker ready in the chamber at all times.
Maybe I'll plan that for next time.
Oh, ba-dub-ba-dub.
All right, let's finish this goddamn bracket, baby.
Rocket,
So-
rocket.
We've got Sorcerer's Stone and Attack of the Clones. I'll start off by saying my vote goes to Sorcerer's Stone.
I agree.
Sorcerer's Stone is like it's Chamber of Secrets, but way better, and it's also the first one, so it gets the advantage of being the introductory tale. And Attack of the Clones is not a very good movie, and I don't like it that much, and it's kind of boring.
I'm
And
with Abel.
Sorcerer's Stone is much better.
Yeah, I agree. I voted for Attack of the Clones in the first round, but only because it was up against the worst Harry Potter movie, and it's not the worst Star Wars movie.
Because Rise of Skywalker exists.
Yeah, that and Phantom. It's better than Phantom. It's not even the
Yeah.
second worst Star Wars movie. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Jesus.
Sorcerer's Stone is better. Like, yeah, come on.
Imagine watching Attack of the Clones and then someone tells you there are two more that are worse than this.
Well, there's only one more that's like actually worse. There's two more that are extremely more disappointing.
I think
that's
fundamentally the worst Star Wars movie is Rise of Skywalker.
We
Like,
can have
just-
this discussion
It's
another
up
day.
there, but that's a discussion for another day. That's its own topic, to be honest.
All right. Is everyone anything else need to be said?
Nope.
Don't think so.
All right. This one's a real toughie actually. Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire.
Ooh.
This
Yeah,
is
So I've had to make this decision already in my list for our Harry Potter rankings, and I'm pretty sure I know what I went with because it's what my gut's telling me to do, and it's Goblet of Fire. And I'm gonna say that because not because I like long-haired Harry Potter by any means, but this is when shit got real in the Harry Potter universe.
yeah.
Like, before they were playing games with their wands and stuff, but then somebody died. Like, a kid at their school got murdered. Like, that was, like, that's just when shit got real. And it was just super dark the whole movie, and I just loved the mood of it, and there's, like, a great twist at the end that, you know, if you're watching it for the first time, you probably will still see coming, but it's still like, I don't know, I still like it. The whole movie is very satisfying, very exciting, and wherein I love the time travel that Prisoner of Azkaban does. I love the story that it tells, the characters that it develops and introduces, like Sirius Black and all that. I just still think Goblet of Fire is a better spectacle.
All right, Spencer, do you have a choice? I'm still trying to pick an
Goblet
answer.
of Fire. Goblet of Fire is I think the most interesting Harry Potter movie. I think it also I agree with Thomas. It's fun like the first ones are, and it also establishes the dark tone that the new ones are gonna have. It's great. I really love it. It's like part of the reason why I love the Harry Potter franchise so much. I would be it would be difficult for me to put anything above it.
I I have now come to my conclusion, and I also agree with you guys. Goblet of Fire. I really love Prisoner of Azkaban. I really do. But if I had to pick one to watch right now, it would be Goblet of Fire, and it has more memorable moments. I guess it's it felt like the a good step forward from Prisoner of Azkaban and the first two, I guess, because it's like Prisoner of Azkaban was like, yeah, they're kind of getting older, but they're still like kids. But then in Goblet of Fire, it's like they're like young adults at this point. Like they're grown up.
Like they're
They're
reading
not.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. They're
No, dude, they're only like 14 or 15 in that movie too. But
Yeah, but
they're
they
like
look a
they're
lot
out
older.
there doing shit.
Yeah,
yeah, they're busy.
and there was more planning, more, I don't know. Anyways,
Which is the first one where they go to Hogsmeade or whatever it's called?
I think that's.
Order of the Phoenix, I
I
think, is
thought
the
it was
one
the
where
third
he.
one.
It's also the one where they get banned from Hogsmeade for doing something, like for being.
Yeah, remember because
disobedient.
they had the map in Prisoner of Azkaban. That was
Yeah,
like
the Marauders map.
yeah.
That was so cool. I was like, that
Mismanaged.
thing is so sick. All right, so
Holy sweat. I'm
we
up
got
to no good.
Empires of the Strikes of the Back and Return of the Jedi back.
I know my choice.
I know my choice.
I
Spencer,
mean,
do you have
I
your
know
choice?
what your guys' choice is. I have said before that Return of the Jedi is my favorite movie, but I'm really not like I don't have a lot of like technical arguments to back it up with. I just like it more than all the others.
Yeah.
That's
I
fair,
just
dude.
think
It's honestly like Luke with a green lightsaber hits different.
like, honestly, like that movie's just the way it looks, everything about it. I really don't.
It's
There's
a
just
vibe.
really nothing. There's just really nothing that I dislike. I love the like ending, like trio of the battles with Luke and Vader, the battles with in space with the second Death Star, and the battle on Endor. I love all three. I just really struggle to find things that I dislike about that movie, and that's part of the reason why it's my favorite. But I understand. I mean, Empire is incredible too, and I'm sure that's going to go on right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to vote for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. I've kind of come to this realization that like Star Wars movies are really hard to judge critically when you've just grown up loving them.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
the
when you're a
nostalgia thing
kid.
is really important.
It's not just the nostalgia thing though, because I've come up with like a good way to phrase this now. Like it's been brewing around in my head, but I think I have like a way to like explain it. I feel like the original trilogy and to an extent the prequel trilogy, because the Revenge of the Sith came out in 2005, which is when I was like I think I was 4, and
Yeah.
I was just like I probably didn't get really into Star Wars until like I was like 6 or 7 is when I was like, yes, I love Lego Star Wars and I'm playing the game and I'm playing with the toys and I love all this stuff. Honestly, I think I liked the branding around it more than I liked the movies because
Yeah, no, I agree.
yeah.
I was with you. I'm with you there.
And I feel like I treat in my brain all the original and prequel Star Wars movies as the same way I treat like history. Like it's just kind of in the past. It's what happened,
Yeah,
and like I can't like
especially the
criticize
original
history.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Like I have my own definitive opinions about it, but
Yeah,
it
but
happened.
when
Like there's
you're
nothing that'll
looking at it
change about it.
when you're looking at it through those like rose tinted glasses, it's really hard to critically judge it, and it's more focused on like, oh, which one's the best? How do I rank the original trilogy? Well, which of the set pieces do I like more? Like, do I like them fooling around on Tatooine for a bit? Do I like the first Death Star? Do I like the Battle of Hoth? Do I like Cloud City? Do I like Endor? It's basically like I don't feel like the story beats are really what I used to use to guide my opinion on Star Wars. And
I agree.
I feel like it's really eye-opening to come back to these movies with like a more critical lens on how I
Well,
interpret films and stuff.
when you're younger, a lot of your opinions are based on spectacle,
Yeah.
and the Star Wars movies are masters of that. And that's kind of how you decide what your favorite
Yeah.
is, and that's why I liked and still love episode 6. But
Yeah, it's mainly just because you liked it when you were a kid, basically,
yeah,
and
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
I liked the Battle of Endor a lot.
So
My
I
vote
want to.
goes to Empire Strikes Back.
I'm gonna vote for Empire Strikes Back, and here's why. It if you can take a step back from all the Star Wars-ness of these.
Thomas?
Uh-oh,
Thomas?
Thomas.
Did he leave the call?
I don't know. Technical
No,
difficulties.
he's still here, but you can't hear him.
Thomas,
Well, I'll explain my reasoning real quick. Thomas, if you can hear us, we need you back, buddy. Anyways, I feel like Return of the Jedi has a little bit of like Return of the Jedi and Empire both are really important movies in the way like they're both original trilogy. They hit kind of the same beats. They have the same sort of feel. Like if I'm gonna watch all the Star Wars movies, I'm not gonna like if I'm gonna watch the original trilogy, I'm not gonna purposely not watch Return of the Jedi because I don't like it as well as Empire Strikes Back or A New Hope. I'm still gonna watch it because I still really like it. But Empire Strikes Back has a like you in Return of the Jedi, you go to fucking Endor and there's a bunch of like Happy Meal toys hanging out with all the fucking people, and then they just kind of destroy these like the stormtroopers have always been stupid and useless and can't do anything.
Yeah, they're
but
like trained super soldiers, but
it really
can't do shit.
really when they're paired up against the Ewoks and the Ewoks crush them, it really fucking doesn't make any sense. And I don't care. Like I like it, but it really just compared to something like Empire, where it's really story driven and not as set piece focused, although there is a lot of cool set pieces in Empire Strikes Back, like Dago. This is the Dagobah system.
Welcome to Dagobah system.
For the last time, Obi-Wan, this isn't the Dagobah. Welcome to
Dagobah system.
That is I love Donkey.
I've been on a Donkey binge recently. I feel like I always just perpetually go on Donkey binges. That's just
I need to make like a little playlist where it's just all of my favorite Donkey videos, like the funniest shit. All right, is Thomas? No, he left.
Back?
Here's Johnny.
Oh,
hey,
fucking
welcome back.
Dude,
Thomas is back.
my
Fuck.
Wi-Fi is not back on. I just went downstairs.
Oh, that's nice. All right, well, we finished The Force Awakens. Or no, not The Force Awakens. We were waiting for you. We finished Empire versus Return of the Jedi.
Right, because I had already cast my vote.
Yeah. All right. So, let's just do a little editing trick. I'm gonna come right back in 3, 2, 1. Wait, that was a shitty snap. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thomas has been gone for 2 days. The Skype call is still going for some reason, but now he's back. 2 days later.
2 days
And,
later,
I'm wearing different clothes, as you can tell.
and I have different nipple pasties on today.
All right, we're gonna start off the rest of this. The Force Awakens versus Deathly Hallows Part 2. This is a real head
It's a
scratcher.
doozy.
Um,
Yeah, it's a doozy.
who wants to start us off right here?
I would like to.
Go now.
Here's the thing. I really like Force Awakens. I really, really do, and it's because I like Star Wars so much. And when I sit down, all I get filled with is just pure joy because I'm watching so many colorful Star Wars things happen. And the reason I'm going to vote for the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is because I think that it does a better job of just being its own thing. While it is a finale, it like as its own movie, it like the characters I feel like are, because they're more well established, I might add, they do so much more for the story, and the plot points don't feel as, I don't know, like, because the Force Awakens is pretty goddamn cheesy, like, as far as movies go. Not really as far as Star Wars movies go, because Star Wars movies are usually pretty damn cheesy, but I mean, The Force Awakens is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. I just think that in terms of what the Deathly Hallows is to the Harry Potter franchise and what it is as its own movie, in terms of the action, in terms of being a culmination of the events of 7 previous movies, I just think that it's the better movie.
All right. I'd first like to start off by saying I don't think that Star Wars is inherently like cheesy just because it's cheesy. I feel like it's because we perceive it as like cheesy or corny or whatever because it invented the mold that so many other movies like it copied because it was the kind of the first of its kind. Like it's Star Wars is dumb. It's dumb, but it's only dumb because it was such a huge success and everything else tried to copy it. And I guess I have to go with The Force Awakens. I like Part 2 of the Deathly Hallows, but if I had to pick one movie right now to watch, actually I'd pick Deathly Hallows Part 2, but that's just because I watched The Force Awakens like a couple weeks ago, and I haven't seen the Deathly Hallows Part 2 that much. But I feel like Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2 kind of blend together a lot for me, and Force Awakens, it's just very straightforward, like to the point. Star Wars adventure. It's a blast. It was like the first one of the sequels where it's all like it's the first Star Wars movie that feels like Star Wars since like 1983, I'd say. And that's why my vote goes to The Force Awakens.
It's very fair.
That's fair. These are both great movies, but for totally different reasons.
Absolutely.
Force Awakens. I mean, I honestly think the three of us, we're not in the minority for this, but like,
we like
really
it more than most people.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, a lot of people don't like this movie, and I'm not gonna not vote it out for any reason like, oh, it's too similar to the New Hope or something like that. Because it's not. It has its own merit. It's creative in its own way, and I think it's the best of the new trilogy because it like does the most with the characters.
That was
like,
never like a thing, like something we questioned though. Like,
yeah,
of course it's the best.
Like it's the only one that like actually develops the characters and does like. The other two movies in that trilogy just acted like the characters were super developed and that we already knew who they were, but we didn't. Like Force Awakens did a good job, but it needed to be built on more. And just the fact that it wasn't, and just the fact that Deathly Hallows was like a perfect way to wrap up a saga. and I don't think that they handled any character poorly in the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah.
I have to give it to Deathly Hallows Part 2.
All right. That's the only time or not the only time, but one of the few times where I disagree with the popular choice, but understand why that it made it. All right.
Episode 2, you did not
What?
understand.
Yeah, what are you not? What are you not a Attack of the Clones kind of guy?
What are you talking about, bro?
You're
Attack
telling
of the
me to
Clones,
like
one of the
Attack of the
fucking
Clones.
Best
Attack of the
movie.
Clones. The movie that we don't think is that bad because The Phantom Menace is just a little bit worse.
Dude, I think it's really funny that the Sorcerer's Stone made it this far, actually, but you have to consider that it was up against Chamber and Phantom Menace, or Attack of the
Yeah.
Clones and Phantom Menace.
I'm just gonna
I would
write
put-
Goblet of Fire right now because I know that it's just gonna be a unanimous 3-0 vote.
I would honestly rank episode 2 above episode 8, 9, and 1.
For what? Star Wars?
I'd rank it above 9 and 1. That's for sure. I think Last Jedi is. It's they're bad for different reasons, and I don't think that The Last Jedi was like as fundamentally broken as Attack of the Clones was, because Attack of the Clones, the story, it makes sense, but the execution was just handled so poorly. Whereas The Last Jedi, it was handled really well, but what's there fundamentally isn't that great. And
Dude,
anyways, we're talking about
yeah.
Sorcerer's Stone and Goblet of Fire.
Well,
I don't know why we're talking about 2 Star Wars movies.
So, I would just like to say that Goblet of Fire is a better movie, and if you don't think that, then you're 12 years old.
Sorcerer's Stone is great.
It is.
It's just a Harry Potter movie. It's a great starting off point, like how The Force Awakens was a great starting off point. But I feel like The Force Awakens is a better movie than Sorcerer's Stone. If those were head to head, then I would pick Force Awakens any day of the week. Just because
I would too.
Sorcerer's Stone it's a great movie, but it's not like Goblet of Fire, where Goblet of Fire is like an extension of pre-existing material that's already good, and they build upon it so much better than like, because Sorcerer's Stone can't just get a pass for setting up stuff that happened already. Like it's probably because of the director, because the director of the first 2 Harry Potters he's like the guy, he did the first 2 Home Alones. He's done some other stuff. He does a lot of like family movies. And Goblet of Fire is more cool. It's got some way better action scenes. There was the shitty CGI 3-headed dog in Sorcerer's Stone. That's about all the action you got. I was just saying the CGI didn't age very well.
I would have to agree.
All right, Spencer, do you have anything to say before we move on?
I don't think so. I think I don't have a new opinion to add to that.
All right. Well, that takes us to our other semifinal round. We got Empire Strikes Back versus Deathly Hallows Part 2. Who wants to take this one? Because I don't want to take it.
I totally can. I gotta say, these are both very good movies. And I think that I'm gonna vote for Empire, because I like it more. And that's like really just about it. Like these are 2 movies where there's not a whole lot wrong with either one. And they're both very entertaining. But this is just one of those things where it's just Empire. I don't even know what to say. I just like it better. Like 9 times out of 10, I would just rather watch Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker on that catwalk and rather than watching Voldemort and Harry Potter stick their two wands together and don't cross the streams and cross them and push them into each other.
Isn't that what happens in most Star Wars movies, though? Because it's lightsabers.
Well, I'm saying
I'm just saying. I'm just yanking your chain.
I'm just joshing your Pete.
All right. I'm gonna say Empire as well. Deathly Hallows Part 2. It felt like it's kind of like the Avengers Endgame of the Harry Potter franchise. It's kind of like, hey, this is a nice conclusion. Remember all the good times we had. Here's all these characters from other movies. It all kind of ties together. Here you go. It's nice. But then Empire Strikes Back, it's got a really compelling like story, beginning, middle, end, whereas Deathly Hallows Part 2 is just kind of end. And that's why I vote for Empire.
I'm with it.
All right, Spencer.
I'm going Empire.
All right.
I think Empire is not only the best sequel potentially ever, but it's also one of my favorite movies of all time. It's one of the strongest in the Star Wars franchise, if not potentially the strongest. I understand arguments for that. I struggle to find any problem with it. I'm sure I could find corny moments in part 2, but just because I haven't seen it in longer, I don't know it quite as well. I'm gonna take Empire.
All right. Now we have our two finalists, Goblet of Fire and Empire Strikes Back. I'm gonna go with Empire. My vote lies with Empire.
I think we could have predicted this as the final matchup.
I mean, you never know. You never know.
You really don't ever know. How much a dollar cost won Anthony Fantano's Kendrick Madness, so...
That's one person. It's a lot different when you got three people.
I know, but I'm just saying.
What a weird choice.
Don't tell me the odds.
Okay, well this is gonna be hard, man. There's a lot to talk about here.
Well, I have one vote for Empire. Who else wants to go?
I mean, is this just the question of, do I like Harry Potter more than I like Star Wars? Do I like Star Wars more than I like Harry Potter? I wouldn't want it to get to that.
At this point, I'm not trying to have a preference for which franchise I like better, because I do like Star Wars better. But yeah. I'm trying to think of which did more for the franchise.
That's fair.
Which did more because both of them are not the first installment in any sort of thing. Both of them
are both fantastic sequels.
Yeah, but exactly. It's hard because The Goblet of Fire is the fourth in a series of books that were all going to be written on a schedule by J.K. Rowling, who knew what the ending was going to be, whereas Empire Strikes Back is the second movie, which is also the fifth movie in a saga of 9 movies that weren't even written within, 2 years of each other.
But ultimately, Star Wars as a whole is much worse as a series than Harry Potter, even if I might like Star Wars way better.
Exactly. So it's hard to say what did more for the saga, what did more for the rest of the franchise, when the rest of the franchise, in this case, pretty much propagated on the unplanned fact that Luke Skywalker was the son of Darth Vader. And that's literally where the prequel trilogy comes from. And actually, I think where a lot of the other prequel trilogy comes from. So, I mean, it's hard to say it boils down to that. But what do I think is a movie that tells a better story about a better character in a better way and it's something I still have to think about very hard.
All right. Well, in the meantime, Spencer, do you have a pick?
I mean, Thomas's point about the books being a framework. I mean, it's really hard because I think I love what Goblet of Fire did for the trilogy. It did exactly what an installment that is exactly halfway through a franchise should do. But I think what Empire did as the second installment in like a brand new franchise was so good. It was just so creative. They took it in the best possible way they could with nothing, with just creativity going into it. And I think just because of that, I'm going to put Empire as my choice.
All right.
Well,
I love Goblet of Fire, but
it doesn't matter anymore, but I think I'm going to put my vote for Goblet. And I'm doing that because I think that no matter how good Empire is, no matter how good of a movie it actually is, a lot of the greatness of that movie comes from its cultural buzz and its place in pop culture and its iconship as, you know, one of the best sequels, one of the best Star Wars movies, and its "No, I am your father" moments, and you know the incest of it all, everything about it. Like it maintains its place in pop culture. But if you were to wash all that away, or if you were to look at it the same way you look at Goblet of Fire, as you know, because they're relatively in the same place in the franchise, 5 and 4, you know, it kind of sets a different stage where if you're thinking about the progression of a single character, what movie brings that character closer to figuring out, or like closer to developing a plot that's been like developed at all already. You know, I mean, Empire has the weakness of not having been written in a string of movies that were planned and that were like on an actual timeline. So when Vader is Luke's father, I mean, to us, it's just a given. Like, we know that. But if you weren't surprised by that in 1980, then you probably just felt like it was confusing and it was like forced because like there wasn't really preparation for that. And it's the same thing with Luke being Leia's sister. There wasn't preparation for it. That's why he kissed her 3 years before we figure out that she's his brother or she's his sister. You know what I mean?
You seem really obsessed with that fucking kiss. You keep coming back to it. I barely even think about it.
That's the tone for incest of the Star Wars universe. There's more incest than just that.
Yeah, I mean, it happened in the fucking most recent one, too.
You know, did you guys know, I counted once. I watched a compilation. There are 20 dismemberments in the original 6 movies. 20 in 6 movies. If you count heads, 16 just appendages.
And
that's it. I just think that's
okay.
I think that's just bizarre that George Lucas chopped that many arms, legs, heads, and hands off.
Fair.
Well, that's it. That's the bracket.
We did it. Yeah, Empire. Who would have guessed the best movie out of all these was the best?
It's just Empire.
Let's talk about Rushmore briefly.
Let us do it.
Thomas, since this is fresh in your mind, since Spencer and I watched this a couple weeks ago, and you watched it a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah. So this was a delightful little movie. One thing I've noticed about Wes Anderson is that the way he shoots and edits his movies, especially because this is one of his earlier ones when he wasn't as technically developed, sound, and funded, It's more simplistic, and the shots are very long. They're not edited quickly whatsoever, and it really in all of his movies, but in this one especially, it made it feel like the characters were a really big focus on screen, and so that helped me get invested into them. But the thing about it was, I did like this movie a lot, and I thought it was very cute in its, I don't know, in its kind of existentialism with trying to find a Rushmore in your life. But that being said, the main character for a portion of the movie is like really hard to root for. Like not even hard to root for. His choices are just so inexplicably horrible.
No, I don't think I disagree with that. I feel like the movie, it's a Wes Anderson coming of age movie. It's like trying to, like, it thoroughly, it doesn't explain exactly why he does it, but you can understand where he's coming from because he is a kid. He's a little kid. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Yeah. And that's the crux of the movie.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I get the point. It never really bothered me. I just wish some of the stuff he did was more believable. And I liked how in the ending it kind of just ended, at least the end of the second act, with this sort of, well, no, not the end of the second act. I guess towards the end of the actual movie. It was just kind of this bros before hoes sentiment where they got back together as friends and they were riding bikes together and they like had both been dumped by the same girl. And I thought that was great. And by the way, I loved Bill Murray's character in this movie so much. I mean, he's Bill Murray. You can't ask for any more than that. It's just.
I liked it. I liked it. It was fun. I mean, it was a type of Wes Anderson that just felt a little bit different to me. I don't know. Something about it was.
It's pre Wes Anderson.
Yeah, it was off, but I could definitely still see some of his tropes in certain parts. I liked Jason Schwartzman's character.
I love watching that dude do anything in any movie.
It's just fun to watch. I liked it. I liked Bill Murray's character. I mean, it was. I didn't even know this movie existed before Thomas suggested it. I wouldn't have suggested it myself, but I liked it. I mean, I would recommend it.
For sure, dude. I have to say, a couple of my favorite parts were when Bill Murray spikes that ball from that kid playing basketball. That got me. and then when the teacher, in her first grade classroom, is like, "Did you think we were gonna have sex?" I don't even know what that is. It's like, "Did you think we were gonna fuck?" You have to know how to fuck. Something like that. I don't know. It made me laugh.
There's a lot of funny parts in that movie. I gave it 3.5 stars, if anyone was wondering.
Yeah, I would give it probably a 4. It's as a technical piece, it's so aesthetically sound, in my opinion. Like the way he took his shots and the way he had everything seemed so, like, the thing about it was, it's such a common trope, like the whole high school geek falls in love with like somebody, anything. Like, it's just a high school movie. It's a coming of age story, but it's Wes Andersonized in such a way where like the spectacle of it becomes more, how the camera moves, and also the sound design. Sound design in this movie was really good. I don't know if you guys were paying attention to it, but I loved the soundtrack, and there were a lot of moments. There were a lot of moments of synchronization with the cuts and everything that looked super good. And
I don't think you know what sound design means.
Shut up, bitch.
Sound design is like actually making the sounds.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the sound design was good, and also it was edited well into
sound
the movie.
editing. Yes.
You motherfucker.
One thing I fucking hate is whenever, this is completely off topic, we were just talking about sound in movies. Every fucking Christopher Nolan movie, whenever it gets nominated for a sound mixing Oscar, I hate it. Because he fucking, in every movie, like, you know how movies get really loud during the big loud parts and really quiet when they're like talking?
Mhm.
Christopher Nolan just makes everything so loud. It is so loud. Like in Interstellar, I think that won for best sound mixing. And it just destroys your ears. And then when they're talking, it's like fucking like someone whispering like 10 feet away
No,
from you.
Abel, that's you going deaf.
No, it's not. Pay attention to it next time you watch a Christopher Nolan movie, especially Interstellar.
I'm just saying, it gets really loud and then you go a little bit deaf, so everything's quieter.
It's just so awful. That's like the only complaint I have for Christopher Nolan movies. Anyways, so that was our movie of the week, and I believe that it would be my turn to pick a movie this week for next week. Are either of you guys familiar with John Carpenter as a director?
Yes, I am.
I'm not.
Have you seen Escape from New York?
Oh, it's on my list. I'm glad you suggested that.
I've been eyeing Escape from New York since I was like a freshman in high school. I'm just like, that movie looks really cool.
Yeah, dude, no,
that movie
it's
looks
on my
badass. I love John Carpenter. I think I've only seen one movie by him, honestly, but I absolutely love The Thing. The Thing is like a perfect movie.
Oh, agreed. That movie is fucking fire.
So that's my pick, and we're gonna watch it because it's got Kurt Russell in it.
Oh,
plays a guy
fine.
named-
John Carpenter and Kurt Russell are like one of the best pairings of all time.
Yeah, I mean they've made a lot of movies together. I haven't seen that many John Carpenter movies.
Well, didn't
I've only seen the one.
Halloween. I've seen Halloween as well. I've seen
Yeah, I
Thing. They Live is also on my list.
Me too. It looks fire.
Dude,
Anyways,
Halloween is honestly one of the most hilarious movies I've ever seen.
It's the same thing as like Star Wars, where it was so
dude,
like legendary that it set up all the tropes.
I can't imagine being scared by it in the 70s. I don't know how people went into the theater and like sat there and they were just like.
Because there was nothing else like it before.
But I don't know, man. It made me laugh really fucking hard. Abel, why is your Letterboxd profile picture Gwen from Total Drama Island?
It's okay. We don't need to talk about it. Anyways,
How do I
let's
change my profile picture? I'm trying to do that right now.
We'll figure that out later. Thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of DMT podcast. I'm not going to come up with one. All 0 people who are listening.
If you made it this far, you didn't.
Might as well subscribe, like, and comment, and rate and subscribe.
Rate really this video.
We'll see nobody next week when we upload
and
another.
We're doing a 1 subscriber giveaway.
Do we have one?
No, we have 2. It's me and Thomas. I don't think you're subscribed, Spencer.
You little shit.
Yeah, you gotta watch these conversations that you're a part of.
Okay. How do I change my profile picture?
We'll see you guys later next week when we maybe we'll do another bracket. Who knows? But I'll try to get some nice trivia going. All ready to go. Passion of the Christ 2, baby. All right. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.